All right, what's up YouTube? What's up Twitch, guys? We are doing Ask Caliber week 6. We're on time, and I actually prepared this time. Go figure, right? So this is where I take a whole bunch of questions that come from my Discord, come from my Twitch chat. If someone leaves a comment on a YouTube Ask Caliber and has a question, I can answer that on here too. I grab these questions from wherever I can grab them, just to try to get that information out to you guys. Because, you know, generally if one person has a question, a lot of people have the question. So here we go. Let's go for question number 1, man. Question number 1. Oops. Did I really do that? I did. Hold up. Let's just do this then. Let's just do this. Look at all those errors there. All right, here we go. You guys saw nothing. Is Ken really worth investing in? I just pulled him, but I never liked the look of his unit, and I'd rather not build him. But if people consider him a necessity, any opinions are greatly appreciated. So Ken is definitely worth building in my opinion. He's great in Guild Wars. He's great in Golem 11. He's great in almost everything he does. I think Ken's worth investing in. If you're not liking the unit though, I say just don't bother doing it. Don't bother messing with him if you really don't like that. You can put your resources elsewhere and try to make other team comps work. I just know Ken's really good for a bruiser team. Ken's really easy to make as a hard hitter, a hard bruiser, since he scales off of hit points. So I really wouldn't worry about it. If you don't want to use them, don't do it. But I think Ken's a very solid unit. Does anyone have good equip sets for Ken? I think mine are doing subpar with hit point gear. Yeah, if you can get good hit points and attack on him, that's good. I think some people talk about running like hit points or run. I think there's crit damage necklaces on him if they can get the right critical hit out of him with hit points on the other slots with maybe some speed boots. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't have a Ken, but definitely lots of hit points. He does what he does well, and that's doing some breaks. Maybe some Molo investment in him would be good too. But yeah, maybe some Molo investment might be good too. Alright, so here we go. Let's go to the next question. Wooshy shiny clan. Yeah, so pretty much with the Ken gear and stuff like that. I know I just skipped over the next one, but lots of hit points on him, lots of hit points on Ken, good crit. If you can get some crit damage scaling in there, it's pretty sure that's going to help him out. You know, typically a good bruiser Ken is anywhere between 15 to 20k hit points. Especially when you're running them in Guild Wars. That's a very beautiful number to be at, and that's an annoying number to be at. And if you can make that a lifesteal set on top of that, that'd be beautiful. But you don't have to. Hit point set. You just want really good hit point stats on him, man. But lifesteal set does go pretty good with Ken for the most part. For beginner Kens, you get an Abyss set, you throw it on Ken because they usually come with good hit points, decent attack, good effective resistance with critical hit chance. That's an idea there too. Necklaces and rings and stuff like that, and wouldn't really worry about those. I'd replace those with, you know, whatever hit point ring you could do. Maybe do the attack Abyss ring. Maybe do a critical hit necklace if you need the crit chance and some speed boots or something like that. Guys, I just pulled Watcher Sheree on my second ML on this account that I posted pics. Do I want to do him? Yeah, you want to gear him for sure. You definitely want to gear him for sure. No, that's up to you. So, Watcher Sheree is going to be really good. I think Watcher Sheree is about to shine. I think Watcher Sheree is going to be a hard counter for Emil Cecilia. So all you have to do is do a CR push into Watcher. You want to make Watcher super slow. You want to make him like how people are making their Sezes and stuff like that. You want to make him super slow with lots of attack, some critical hit damage on him. For when he hits like a truck. You just want him to hit like a truck. He does defense penetration, if I'm not mistaken. And basically, he's just going to penetrate to Emil Cecilia's defense and it's going to make her cry. I think we're going to see a lot of Watchers actually come out of hiding because of this reason. Let me see here. Let me read off what Watcher Sheree has. If I can find him, there he goes. His S3 here is a shoots a magic bullet at the enemy, penetrating their defense. So he penetrates defense with his magic bullet. So you see our push into him, maybe give him an attack buff. He hits, deletes ML Cecilia. That's probably what's going to happen with a lot of watchers, in my opinion. Probably what's going to happen. So yeah, I think he's worth it. I think he's going to be even more worth it after Cecilia drops. Wyvern 10 and under worth farming. So this is a question that's been popping up a lot. I don't think Wyvern 10 and under are worth farming. So at the end of this, at the end of this, we'll get into some more in-depth Wyvern talk and stuff like that. But we're definitely going to talk about Wyvern 10 and how you can prep yourself for it. And I actually think I'm going to do an in-depth video on just Wyvern 10 itself. So is Wyvern 10 worth farming? I don't think it is. If you can avoid it, I would avoid it. If you absolutely have to, I guess you absolutely have to. I had a follow-up question on Watcher Sheree. I might as well say it here. Do you Molo Watcher Sheree? I don't think Molo's a bad idea. At least going to plus 2. Maybe plus 4 and 5 if you're not. Maybe plus 2 is worth it. Maybe plus 2 is worth it. What I would probably do is level him up though. Give him a try. If he seems like he's doing work, he's taking out those ML Kins for you, all this stuff, then I think maybe if you're falling short, start enhancing his S3. But I think his S3 is the one you want to enhance. Yeah, his S3 looks like the one you want to enhance. So I would do that. All right, I think it's time to work on a second Soul Weaver. Currently on Abyss 80. That's pretty impressive. Haven't worked on a second Soul Weaver on Abyss 80. I like it. Trying to get the bottom right boss of the Queen down for the raid. Running Angelica. I could work on Specially Changed Bot, Specially Changed Hazel, and you also have Acades, Doris, and Elson. Who should you focus on gearing up? So if you're running Angelica, Angelica's biggest weakness is she can't clear debuffs. So you have a couple options here, and Acades is a very solid option. I'd like the Acades option because Acades is really, really good for clearing debuffs. Specially Changed Mont, I Specially Changed Mont's good, but I don't think she's good enough to run behind Angelica. I would almost go Acades first. Unless you absolutely positively need a Mont for tanking Wyvern 11 maybe, then you can go that option. But I would definitely go Acades first for carrying debuffs. And I would definitely level up that Specially Changed Hazel, for you can switch between Acades and Hazel, depending on what type of content you're dealing with. Because Hazel, I'd go Acades, Hazel, and then Mont with gearing up. Because Hazel's going to give you an attack buff when you don't need debuff clearing. Unless you already have that covered, then Acades all the way. Definitely Acades. Oh, this is my question? Is this my crawl? How is he looking for Wyvern farming? You know what? I copied that question over. I didn't pay attention that was going there, so I don't have a picture of that. So we'll just talk about it. So for Wyvern farming with Crawl, man, for Wyvern farming for Crawl, you definitely want to get good hit points, and you want to have good defense. Now, here's the thing. If you go Wyvern 11 farming and you have your Crawl decked out with 20k hit points and he has no defense whatsoever, he's going to kind of suffer a little bit. So you just need to have a good solid healer. If you don't have a good solid healer that can keep up with it like Angelica, you're going to be in trouble. So if you can have a good tanky or good Angelica throwing heals on Crawl, he'll be fine. If not, your healer might be able to tank it, and you can use Crawl with Arias for sure. So I would probably say with Crawl, you probably want to be somewhere in the 17k range on hit points and probably like 1200, 1300 defense. Should be a good number to be at for Crawl to survive on that. I do know from personal experience, I took my Crawl and I put them at 20k hit points with absolutely no defense, and I was having a hard time keeping up with heals. Keep in mind though, I was using DN as a healer with Rod of Alamurlis. Maybe that was my mistake there. I think Angelica was probably a better option, but I didn't do that. Wyvern 11 farming is Crozet or Specially Changed Mont better for tanking it? So they're both solid. They both bring something different to the table. Honestly, I think specially changed Mont's going to be the easier route to go when it comes down to gearing. Yeah, I think specially changed Mont's just going to be easier to gear, in my opinion. She has better options than Crozet when it comes to gear. And when it comes to artifacts, because you can run Water Origins, you can run Water Origins is a good one. If Water Origins isn't working, they can both use Invoice Pipe. Invoice Pipe's not working, they can both use Ego Delusion. Those are 3 solid options there for artifacts. I do like Mont. I think Mont's super tanky. I'm really impressed with Mont. I'd be curious to take the gear I have currently on my Mont and throw it on a Crozet and see how well he does. But my Mont tanks Wyvern 11 rather well. And she also has the ability to add support heals, which I kind of like that idea of having support heals on there too, every now and then. My current team especially changed Mont with Aether as a healer, so they kind of both counterbalance each other on that. So I kind of like Mont better as a Wyvern 11 farm over Crozet, in my opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong, Crozet's fine. If you have a built-up Crozet and he's working for you, let him do the work. Let him do the work. We have a lot of Wyvern questions, quite a bit. When do I know I'm ready to do raids? When do you know you're ready to do raids, guys? So honestly, guys, like, you should be testing raids all the time. You really should. You should be testing raids. What you can do is you can just go into the raid, and if you can't clear it, back out. Yield. It doesn't affect your tokens. It doesn't affect your tokens on normal, and doesn't affect your tokens on hell mode. You keep your tokens if you can't beat it. So just go in there, test it out, see if you can do it. Honestly, once you've hit about Abyss 58, once you've got your second lifesteal set, you should be able to do raids just fine. You might actually be able to do them before then. But definitely once you hit 58, you should be fine to do them. I'm actually quite surprised because I recently hit Abyss 62 on my Caliber free-to-play account. I went in there with 3 stars and 4 stars and just absolutely demolished 2 bosses. I don't even know what happened to them. I'm still asking where they're at. There's a lot of bug splatter that went on. But yeah, you can test them at any time. Don't be afraid to go in there and test them. All it does is take a little bit of time to find out, okay, my healer's getting smashed. Or, hey, my DPS just sucks. You know, there's ways. Just go in there and test it. It's not going to hurt you whatsoever. Next question. How do you upgrade your gear caliber? So this is a very, very good question. And so one of the things I do, especially, is I always buy the charms from the 2 shops. So you can go to 1-1 on labs. 1-1 labs, go to the very top. I teleport to the top right. I go left. I talk to that merchant. I buy charms off of him. There's some charms you can get there. Then you can go to 3-3, I believe it is. Go to the exploration. Go left. Go north. And there's a merchant that has a big old bag on his on the back, some goblin looking dude, and hit him up, and he usually has charms on him. All right. So another thing also is make sure you are doing in the sanctuary. Make sure you have yourself set up in the sanctuary under high command. Have yourself set up where you can get yourself hunt missions and war missions, so you can get your conquest points and you can get yourself ancient coins from those. Make sure you have yourself set up and doing those. I think those are best because they give you the currency to upgrade your gear. That's a very good way of doing upgrading gear, guys. With that, the other thing is make sure you're always going to the shop. Even if you hate PvP, go to friendship. Buy your 5 flags. Always burning your arena tokens. Go in there, do the arena fights. Even if you're gonna get slammed, you know what? Go in there, yield. Take the loss. Just go in there, yield. Get some conquest points in there. Get something's better than nothing. Make sure you're doing the NPCs on the arena too. Get as many conquest points as possible. You can buy the conquest gear. You can also start working towards your conquest points here. Conquest points for greater charms, weapon charms, lesser weapon charms to upgrade your gear. Those are really, really good options. Ancient coins, you can go in and buy the greater ring charms, lesser ring charms, and stuff like that. Once you've cleared raid mode, and if you've already farmed up all the lab gear and stuff like that, and maybe you've already cleared raid, make sure you go back in and do labs. Pick an easy lab. It doesn't matter which lab you pick an easy one. You can play around with different routes to see how many ancient coins you get and stuff like that. I don't mess with that. I'm too lazy. That takes too much work. I'd rather just go in there and one and done it. Build yourself a very, very, very high morale team. The highest morale team you can build that you can just clear trash mobs and maybe some mini bosses. Matter of fact, if you're doing like 2-something labs, like you don't really need strong units. Take the highest morale units you possibly can take. Upload all of your units into one of those morale optimizer thingies. Find a team that can, you know, semi work, even if they don't have, like, they kind of need to have a little bit of gear on them. Just run them through and clear as much as possible and try to get like 200 something ancient coins from them. That's what I do. I run a 47 morale team. Once I've got the raids cleared and everything, I run 47 morale team on I run Lorena, Deanne, Violet, and Lots for 47 morale. See if you can build a team like that. Go in there and try to farm up as many ancient coins as possible. Other options for leveling up gear. You can also go into the shop. I don't know if I recommend the shop option, but if you want to go the more paid route, you can buy charm pack. I think it's charm packs. You can buy charm packs to upgrade your gear. I mean, if you're going to do that, make sure you're upgrading good gear at least. If you buy a charm pack, they're pretty expensive, 30 bucks for them. That's one option for leveling up gear too. I don't know if I recommend that. It's kind of feels a little dirty, but you know, to each their own. To each their own. So let's see, what else do we got here for upgrading gear? There's lots of options for upgrading gear, but definitely those are the main options right there. Make sure you're always doing the events, like the event coupon banners and stuff like that, because you have a chance to get charms there. So if you're doing farming too, Wyvern 11 farming or whatever, and you have like high level 85 gear or whatever, trash 85, 70 gear, sell that stuff off, get the gold from it. General rule of thumb, all the trash gray items and stuff like that that you get from labs and from doing fodder farming and stuff like that, you can take that gear and use it for upgrades. It will rip through your gold a little bit quicker than normal charms, but some people who have a lot of gold, if you have a lot of gold, that's a solid option. If you don't have a lot of gold, I don't recommend doing that because you're going to be broke all the time and you can't afford to buy charms. That's just my personal opinion. Some people would say different on that, but I don't like using great gear unless I'm over X amount of gold. If I'm over 5 million gold, then I'll use some great gear to enhance some gear. But other than that, I don't typically like falling below 5 billion gold because you never know what's going to be popping up in those shops. You know, if you pop into that shop and there's an epic weapon charm, epic armor charm, and a freaking epic artifact charm, I want to buy all of them up, so I want to make sure I have the gold to buy them and also upgrade at the same time. 5 million gold. That's not quite a lot. That's not quite a lot, but you know, it works. It works. Yeah, that's all the suggestions I have for upgrading gear. Definitely. I do recommend upgrade, especially for Wyvern 11, since we're doing Wyvern 11 talk right now. I definitely recommend, if you're trying to do Wyvern 11, make sure you're plus 15 all that gear. The gear. We'll talk in more depth here. We don't have any more questions on here, but we're actually going to talk with some Wyvern 11 a little bit more in depth here in a second. Alright, so last question, Wyvern Progression how-to. I really think I'm going to sit down and make a video on this, but we're going to talk about this a little bit. So I really feel strongly about this. I'm super strong about this. I feel like, I know this isn't the case for everybody. I feel like if you get your Lab 1 and Lab 2 gears, get those gears, use those gear sets between a Venture set, between the Abyss 57 set, the Abyss 30 sets you can get, and maybe if you've cleared up to Abyss 60, the level 71 Abyss set, between those five sets, man, you should have the capability of clearing Wyvern 11 and be able to progress through the rest of them. Now some options some options. A lot of people get hung up on the blue units. Blue units, yes, Wyvern 11, 100%. The only reason you do blue units on Wyvern 11 is because he does a CR push for like 10 or 15%. Either way, he does a CR push every time a non-blue unit goes. So you have to have all blue units, especially starting off. It's just easier. I do understand, I 100% understand people can go in there with an all green team, but you know, that's really good gear. And if you're trying to start off on Wyvern 11, you're just hurting yourself trying to bring in a non-blue unit. Let's just be honest. That's just the simple facts there. Progression wise, you want to try to cheese through 9 and 10 as easily as possible. Things you can do with that, you got double fireball mechanic. If you have 2 debuffs, I believe it's 2 debuffs up on the Wyvern, he only hits you with 1 fireball. Meaning, both of those fireballs that hit you that are taking out your 7,000 hit point, 5,000 hit point characters, they have a chance of living. They have a chance of surviving. So, if you can throw like Junkyard Dog, if you happen to be around for Junkyard Dog, or if you happen to pick up the Torn Sleeve, throw Junkyard Dog on a Warrior, throw Torn Sleeve on a Thief, you can help apply debuffs. Or if you can run characters like Surin, who can apply multiple debuffs. If you can run characters like Alexa, who can apply poisons. You don't want to try to auto it. You don't want to auto 9 or 10. You want to play it. You want to play it. And you want to try to play it to the best of your ability. If you can do a soul burn to keep your healer or your tank alive, or keep a character alive, soul burn to keep them alive. You want to do whatever mechanic you can do to keep those characters alive and burn through him. Now, if you're running across a DPS issue because you can't burn down the shield, then you need to figure out how you can get past that. Do you have enough defense breaks up? Maybe if I brought an attack buffer, I can get through the shield. Those options. So you need to be asking yourself those questions when you're trying to progress through 9 and 10. So honestly, once you hit 10, 10's annoying. Some people can auto farm 10 pretty easy over 11. But as starting off, I think if you can do whatever you can to get through 10, I strongly feel like I did like 20-30 attempts on my free-to-play account to try to get through 10, and I finally got through 10. Anytime my Alexa got hit on 10 when I was trying to do it, she died. Didn't matter how many buffs I had on, she got hit, she was dead. Game over. I would have to reset, go back in, she get hit again, boom, first turn hit. All right, reset. Let's go back again. Go back in. Okay, cool. They hit both my healers. We're good. They hit my Clarissa. Golden. We're good. Boom, Alexa gets hit. Game over. Start over. Let's go back in there. I finally did a run where Alexa did not get hit, and I won the game. And I won Wyvern 10. At that point in time, I'm on Wyvern 11. Then you can start building your characters around that. That's how you progress to Wyvern 11, guys, in my opinion. I think the gear is given to you, especially now. Even if you use that 45 hit point set for your main healer, and max that out. General rule of thumb too is to get through 10, you probably need plus 15 gear on your characters. So with any of those sets I mentioned, you might as well plus 15 it, because it's just going to help you get through it a little bit easier, especially if you got a good subs and everything on there for sure. But that's what I recommend for Wyvern 11 progression. I'm going to actually do a more in-depth video on it, I think. That's on my to-do list, so look forward to a more in-depth Wyvern 11 video. Wyvern 11 progression is actually what I'm going to call it then. Wyvern progression. So yeah, stay tuned for that, guys. Hopefully I can get that done soon, but I think I need to do one. And that'll be it, guys, for Ask Caliber for the Ask Caliber for YouTube, guys. And I will talk to you all later on YouTube, Twitch. Stick around, because I still have 6 hours of stream time. Let's go. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm always doing some sort of content. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch TV. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter or Discord. All those links are below. You guys have a great day. Thank you for watching.